double up box. Hi, welcome to Wilderness Education. My name's David and welcome back to my reloading bench. I've got a gear review here for you tonight. This is an F1 model chronograph. It's made by the company Chrony, and it's a Canadian company that makes these very excellent folding style chronographs. A chronograph is an electronic device that measures the speed of a projectile fired over it. It does this by measuring the time it takes for the projectile to get from the first sensor to the second sensor. It then converts that time into a velocity. The F1 style chronograph gives the velocity in feet per second, and the M1 chronograph gives it in meters per second. I can actually demonstrate this for you if I switch it on and then pass my hand very quickly between the two sensors. There you can see it gives the reading of how quickly my hand passed between the two sensors. 36.94 feet per second. This chronograph will measure from 30 feet per second right up to 7,000 feet per second. So it will cope with the fastest Wildcat cartridges that are in production today, like your 204 Rugers, and that are doing 4,000 odd feet per second. And it will see the smallest bullets right down to the bullets of the 17 HMRs that are minuscule. The chronograph itself is made from it's quite a light design of folded sheet metal that's riveted together, and the most important parts of the chronograph are these two sensor bars, and that's what actually those are the parts that detect the bullet. It has a very simple readout display that's 4 digits, and as soon as it gives you a decimal point, if your velocity is below 100 feet per second, it will be, well, my hand was doing 36 point something. If it goes above 100 feet per second, it will be 36.1 or 2. It will only give you 1 decimal place, and if it's over 1,000 feet per second, it will just give you the speed down to the last foot per second. So it will give you a speed at 2,671 feet per second or something like that. The chronograph is fitted with a standard tripod adapter screw, so you can screw on a tripod adapter and you can fit it onto just a normal camera tripod. Here I've got a Gorilla Pod, and I actually use this Gorilla Pod to hold the chronograph when I'm shooting across it in a prone position. The chronograph is incredibly accurate. It's so accurate, it's down to, I think it's 99.5% accurate, the speed readings across it. And just the other day I was testing some target loads across it that I loaded up 155 grain Sierra 155 Lapua Sinar bullets, and I think there's 20 feet per second difference overall between all the shots. They're all within 20 feet per second of them. It runs on a 9-volt battery, and the 9-volt battery just clips in under this spring here. A few considerations. The chronograph sees the difference in light as the bullet passes across the sensor, and to see that difference it needs a white background. Now on an overcast day, that white background is the sky, the clouds, and we have a lot of those days here in Scotland. But if you're somewhere that has nicer weather and you do get the blue sky days when you're out shooting, then you'll need to use a diffuser. The chronograph comes with the diffuser, and it fits on these guide rods here. and this gives you the white background for the chronograph to see the bullet. And it fits on there like that. The chronograph also comes with a set of extension bars and some extension pieces for the diffuser, so you can actually set the area that you're shooting through much bigger, say if you're shooting a pistol or a shotgun through it. But just for chronograph and rifles, just how it's set up with the standard guide bars and the diffuser works just fine. The chronograph is a delicate bit of kit. It's a bit like sitting your mobile phone in front of where you're shooting. If you hit it, it's going to be destroyed, so you have to make absolutely sure that the muzzle is above the level of the sensors and you're actually shooting between this gap here. The chronograph is also very sensitive to muzzle blast. You can't shoot a 300 Win Mag or any centerfire cartridge close to this chronograph. You've got, the chronograph is recommended to be about 10 feet away to allow the muzzle blast to dissipate before it actually hits the sensors. If you're too close, the muzzle blast can actually give you false readings because the sensors see the movement of the muzzle blast. If you're shooting black powder firearms, you need to get protection plates to sit across the sensor bars so all the powder residue and crud that you get with black powder firearms doesn't get in there and clog it all up and break the chronograph. The chronograph also can be upgraded by adding attachments. You can get a ballistics printer, you can get an extension reader, so you can have the readout right next to your shooting bench, and it plugs in to the little port on the side. But just at the moment, this chronograph, it just gives you the speed reading of each shot, and you need to record the reading either by writing it down or sitting a camera in front of the chronograph to see what each shot's doing. So enough talking, I'm going to actually show you the chronograph in action. I've got some footage of me shooting a 308 Winchester, some shotgun rounds, some 2.2 rounds, different ones. I've got Stingers, high velocity subsonics and CB longs, and I've also got some of a pre-charged air rifle going through the chronograph. 150 grain Hornady SSTs, 308 44 grains of Vitavuri 140. Express double up buck. .32 gram number 5s, high velocity. .3" Magnum 46 gram. Number 3s. Chrony Stinger, hyper velocity. .40 grain Federal game load, 0.22. Remington Subsonics. Fieldman Rapid 7. Crossman magnums. Well, there you have it, guys. There's the F1 chronograph in action. Definitely a very useful piece of kit if you hand load or long range shoot, and I'll actually go into how you actually use this to work out your ballistics in a different video. But the videos that you saw were on a dull overcast day, so it worked just fine, didn't need to use the diffusers. The current retail price of this chronograph runs at about $80 US, and if you're here in the UK where everything's a rip-off, it's about £80 to £100. I got this one cheap. You can find them second hand on eBay. It's a good bit of kit and I'd recommend it. Certainly works very well. I like the folding design. You can transport it easily, you can take it to where you're shooting, and it does the job, and it's very accurate. Definitely a recommended bit of kit. So thank you very much. I'm David with Wilderness Education. Please leave your comments, and I'll be making more videos in the future. Thanks very much.